Alright, let's continue jamming on the dashboard. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of center things up, because everything's kind of pushed over toward the driver's side right now. To help me out, I'm going to create a guide object, in this case, a cube, that will serve as a, well, I guess you'd call it a fill-in or a stand-in for the center console. So I guess we'll call it about that thickness. And so what I'm going to do is start grabbing, let's start off down here with the Lamborghini logo. We can select this and the little base plate that it's mounted on. Then jump up here and select vertices. So now hold down Shift and you can grab all these verts as well. And I'll begin by grabbing all of these pieces, and we'll pull these up until the Lamborghini logo is a bit more centered on the console. We'll start building our dash to those specs. I'm going to grab all of these verts and pull these over a bit further. Then we'll grab the other vertices that'll make the hole for the steering wheel. And we'll pull these over as well, so give a little bit of room here. So something about like so. Now, moving around a little bit, it's a nice shot of what we're going to be working on. I'd like to handle this area right in here. Now, I'm not going to worry so much about the vent system. We're going to be building those a little bit later. But we have these little 5 buttons that are mounted in here. We got a 6th button that's, I don't know what these do. I can't really tell. One's probably a cigarette lighter and, you know, many other things. But let's take a look over here. I might have kind of misjudged some of this because I don't think this is quite as sharp as it is in my model. So no problem. We'll just select this edge, and let me grab my poly crease tool, and actually that removed all creasing, which doesn't really look all that bad, provided it did what it said it was going to do. Now that removed all creasing. So if I pull in a little bit of creasing, and then let's just grab this one edge by itself and remove creasing on that, so that's just a little more rounded. We can also probably get away with sliding it inward just a little bit, and that should help out. I'm going to take this vertex, we'll slide this up, kind of help straighten out that edge. I like the sort of outward lean that this area has, because that's a little closer to the real shape there. It doesn't come straight back down. It's got a little bit of an angle there at the edge. Now, we need to create the 5 little buttons in here, and there's a way we can do this that will save us a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do is, let's get my split polygon tool, and I'm going to split this right down the middle. Try to make the vertices all nice and aligned as possible. In fact, let's snap them all over. Well, X would have been good, but let's see, V-snap. There we go. That's what I wanted to happen. And now let's take these 2 areas, and we need a total of 5. So that's going to be the location of 1 button. So we need 2 on either side of that. So I'm going to make a split here and a split here, and then a split here and a split here. Now I suppose you could use magnets if you wanted to kind of line everybody up all nice and clean and precise, but this is going to work out just fine. Now what I want you to do is to grab all 5 of these vertices, shift right mouse, and go ahead and chamfer these. So check it out. It goes ahead and just splits them off. Now, let's see. Let's grab our polychamfer node, and we'll increase its width. Don't increase it until they completely touch one another. Leave a little bit of a gap, and then we're going to have to go in here and clean these up by hand a bit. So just curve snap. Lots of little curve snaps and adjustments. Okay, it's pretty close. Maybe grab all these and tug them up just a little bit. You want these to be as square as you can make them. Let's check spacing. That's probably going to work out close enough for us. We might just pull this back over a little more. And now we have exactly the marks that we needed to create all of these. So let's just go ahead and extrude. We'll switch over to the smooth so we can see what happens. We'll pull in just a little bit, extrude again, push in again, extrude again, push in just a little bit further, and scale down just a little bit. Extrude. Now we'll pull out, extrude again, pull out again, scale down, extrude, scale in, and push in, so they get that little circular indentation look to them. Now, it's a good time at this point to grab your vertices, and if you see one of the buttons is a little oblong, just, come in here and clean it up. That's what tweaking's for. So that'll work there. We have another button that resides over here, and we need to attach it or anchor it to something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a split right down here, and I'll just end it on the underside, like so. We'll grab this vertex and chamfer it. Now we have a lot of cleanup to do to make that look anything remotely squarish. And, whoops, curve snap that down a little bit, pull this over, and you can see this button right here, by the way, in case you're wondering, oh, what's he building now? Delete that edge right here. I'd probably be better if I connected it to something else instead. Could go ahead and run this all the way up and out of the dash, like so. There's a lot of things I could do with it. I doubt it'll really matter which one I choose. Alright, let's extrude this. Do the same thing we did before. We'll extrude a little, push back in a little bit further, extrude in again, scale down, extrude out, scale in, extrude one more time, and push in, scale in, just to create a little bit of an indentation. Now that got a little bit dramatic, so I could go play with historical nodes, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna do it over again. Call a mulligan on it. Scale it down just a little bit. Extrude up. And pull this up. Scale it way in. Actually, maybe not quite so far in. Extrude, scale way in, and push in to create an indentation. And there we go. Whatever that button's there for, it's now been added. And let's see. Kind of stretch that out a little bit. And I think that takes care of that. Okay, I would like to tighten some of these up. Let me see what a little bit of edge creasing can do for us in this area, because I'd like to pull some of these corners a little bit tighter, including that corner and that corner, and this corner and this corner and this corner and this one and this one and this one, all the way around. And let's see here, poly crease tool, and not too bad, not quite what I was looking for. That's livable. I mean, if I push it to the next level of detail, it looks even better. Of course. Yeah, we'll go with it. I think that'll work out just fine. Okay, well, let's see. From here, we have... let's jump around. We have this little area right next to the radio that connects down to the instrument cluster that we could work on. So here's what we're going to do. Let's grab our split polygon tool, and I'll take this split and I'm just going to continue it straight down to here. Let's take these faces here on the very, very bottom on this guy, and let's remove these. We don't really need them. I don't really need them here either, for that matter. Just kill them out altogether. And it looks like this butts right up against the radio piece. So let's grab these two faces. We'll slide them forward for starters. That may not work the way I really, really want it to. Let me try this. Let me take this edge and I'll delete it temporarily. And I'll recreate it by making a split that runs up like so. Okay, now I'm going to grab these two faces and pull them forward, see what the smooth is doing. Looks pretty good. Probably to make a few adjustments here and there, but this is what we're building if you're remotely curious. Shrink this down. Looks like some vertices can be pulled in a lot tighter. We'll pull this over. Pull these over as well. And okay. It's a good start. Pull these in maybe even a bit more snugly. Now if I switch around, there's a particular shot that I was going to use as a reference right here, and I'll know it when I see it. I think that's it, yeah. So you can kind of see how this whole area kind of swoops upward, and how, hang on, excuse me, how these vertices kind of arc inward just a bit. So what I'll do is I'll start pushing a lot of these vertices over and out of my way. Okay. Alright, looking pretty good so far. We could probably stand to do a bevel down this edge and this edge. These are going to help give us definition, but also they'll kind of help give the illusion that there are stitches here in this object. So let's do a real small bevel. We'll grab the offset, bring it back. So that helped that a little bit. Over here it looks a little funny. Probably look better if we go ahead and just split this the rest of the way down. And it, what do you know, it does. Let's see. Let's grab these vertices and we'll pull these in just a little bit. Now we got a little bit of interesting pull going on there. Could have something to do with this extra vertex here. It was created as part of the bevel. So if we merge those, it doesn't really help the matter, does it? What's going on here? Oh, look at that. A couple of really tiny vertices that should both be merged together. It looks like I grabbed some, but I didn't mean to out here, too. So merge these to center, and that cleans that right up for us, which is excellent. And maybe an extra edge of rounding in here to kind of help clean up the detail. So let's make a split that runs right down the center of all of this. And we'll just go ahead and run it up here to the front of the dashboard. Pull that out. Let's pull these out. Okay. Not bad. Got another one of those buttons over here on this side of the steering wheel. So let's create that real quick, since we're getting good at these anyways. And I'll grab this vertex. Let's chamfer it. And you gotta love that chamfer tool, man. You have to. You just have to. You don't have a choice. Shape that into something that resembles a square. Okay. And it looks like it could use some tweaks. We can already actually see the need for those, as this whole side is kind of caved in. So pull that out. Whoa, make sure you get all the vertices there. Okay, and alright, kind of fancy. Okay, let's take a look over here at this side of the dashboard. We just have a little panel down here. I'm going to do something that I probably should have done a while back, and I just never did. And I've been, paying for it ever since. Take a look here. This all looks decent. Not great. Not what I would call awesome, but decent. Part of it has to do with how these are meeting one another. Let's see what would happen if I just came in here, minding my own business, nobody paying any attention to me, and I just deleted out this edge. What does our smooth look like when I do that? And let's say I also deleted out this little face right here. How do things kind of start to look over here in this world? A little better, maybe. And so let's say, for further sake of argument, that I was just to take these faces and delete those. Interesting. And then we could further surmise that I could maybe grab these faces. Oh, get the right one. And delete these out as well. Now that leaves us with a true gap that we'll have to fill, but I'm confident that we can fill that gap a little bit later, and it'll look nicer than what we've been kind of fighting against so far. So I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. Let's see. Things looking good so far. Anything look like it needs help? I'm thinking. Let's see here. That's not too bad. I think I'm going to pull some of these verts actually back over a little bit. Let's grab all of these guys just to be safe. And this, we'll tug these back over. I'll take a little button and kind of center it back up. Let's take all of these and pull them a little bit more over this way. And it'd probably be a good idea if we went ahead and extended the dashboard all the way up. So we can grab all of these verts, tug them forward, tug this forward, just kind of check with our smooth version from time to time. It's like a little vertex over here that we can tug forward. And a few more. And pull these up just a little bit further. And we can worry about the rest of this later. But this is starting to look very nice. Looking like a dashboard to me. Alright, I think before I call it quits, I want to go ahead and build the geometry for the instrument cluster. And I'm going to do that by getting my Create Polygon tool. And I'm going to point snap. Alright, come on. Point snap for me. You, right there. No? Okay. Get rid of everything. I want you to point snap right there. Thank you. And then I want you another one right there, and another one right here, and another one right here. Oh, this is getting good. And another one right here. I think I missed that one horribly. I want it here in this corner. So just get everything else out of the way, and then another one right here. And press enter. Great way to start out the instrument cluster. I do think, though, I will grab my... Oh, come back. I want my split polygon tool, and I'll switch on magnets for it. And let's just split this thing right down the middle. Let's grab the faces for it. Let's have a look at this. So you can kind of see what it is. It's kind of flush here with the bottom, and then has a cowl over it, so it keeps it in the shade, and all those other sorts of interesting things. Let's extrude this, and I'll start off just by pulling it forward, way forward. We'll squash it down by scaling it in Z. Then let's extrude again. I'll take my offset and set it down to like, what, 0.05. That's actually not bad. We can go with that. And then we'll extrude again. This time we'll just pull forward. And that's a start. Now all we got to do is kind of delete out some of these faces. So maybe you just take these faces, nuke them out. Let's take the whole thing and control tilde so we get a smooth version. And we can use this as a basis to start our model. So we have a little bit of rounding, some curvature as we go up. Let's grab these vertices here, and of course these need to be tugged upward a little bit, some more than others. It's getting us there. It's a good way to start, I think. We'll pull these back. Looks like we could use the good old split edge ring tool and make a split here so that we can have some more vertices. Control click on X for just a moment. And we'll pull these up and back. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and push this up to the next level of detail. Now, it looks like we can use all sorts of beveling to clean this shape up. And we're going to bevel this corner all the way around. So I know it's a little bit tricky to see with everything all stacked up here, but bear with me. And then I'll shade it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. So all the way around in that corner. Let's go all the way around in both of these corners. Probably all the way around in these corners. Maybe not those just yet, because those look like they need some help. In fact, it looks like we're going to need to help those before we do anything. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Okay. Well, no problem. Just got to keep it in mind. So let's see. We'll pull this back. Just basically unfold these polygons. I think that's going to help. Okay, now back to what I was doing. You get to see me select these all over again. We want these edges. Actually, I'll need that one here in just a second, but we'll start off with the corners. Try to keep everything kind of simple. Okay. And then let's go ahead. Actually, let's just bevel these first. So, bevel edge, and whoo, that offset is massive, so bleed that back. And that creates a little bit more sharpness than I wanted, so 0.57. That's not bad. Actually, we probably need some more beveling in some places than we have in others, which is okay too. Let me grab some vertices and we'll start rounding out the inside and this area as well. I'll go ahead and push this up to the third level of detail. I know the poly count gets a little high there, but it sure does look a lot better. Okay. Slide these back. Let's go ahead and bevel the inside and outside edges of this opening. Okay, that helped that out. Looking pretty good. Let's split an edge here. Now, I think this is set to relative, which is not really what I want in this case. So let's go back to object mode. Shift right mouse, and I'll grab these split edge ring tools options and set this back over to absolute. And click near the front, and it won't literally let me drag back, but that's alright. Looks like I'll just have to do it by hand anyways, which is acceptable. I need to straighten up the underside of this. We'll pull this edge back. Let's get these vertices on either side. We'll slide these back. Let's take these verts. Ooh, looks like that was anchored by the split tool. So let me undo that split. And I'll just begin by cleaning up these verts. Okay. All right. Okay, now let me grab my split tool, and I'll make a split right about here. What I'm going to do is grab all of these faces around the back of this on the outer shell. I'm just going to get them all the way around so nobody's really left out. And that all looks good all the way around. Let's extrude these, and I'll push them inward, like so. Let's grab this outside edge all the way around. Actually, I tell you what, let's grab the inside edge. I got a better idea. Let's grab this all the way around the inside. And we'll bevel this and just see how that looks. Good, so that gives us a nice little rounded edge around there that we were indeed looking for. I would like maybe a little more sharpening out here because it looks like it's just a little bit too round as it starts to go in. So let's grab these vertices here at the corners, like so, and we'll just scale these down, and you can watch that sharpen thing up for us. And maybe go ahead and slide these back so they're flush with the dashboard. Let's also grab these verts and actually maybe not quite so far back. Let's grab these vertices here across the top and deselect anybody down here on the bottom. We'll pull these forward to create sort of a constant line, if you will. Let's grab, whoops, deselect either side. We'll grab these ones in the middle and pull these out so we get a little rounding there. And we can grab, actually that's looking not too bad. Could grab these verts and slide these back a bit. Probably have to grab all these at once. Something kind of like that. And if we do that, the whole contraption, the whole kit and caboodle, will probably need to slide forward. Okay, I think that's going to work out for us. Just come in here and make sure we fill in some of the little gaps, which we can do either with the dashboard or with this instrument cluster. Yeah, that's not bad. Probably round out this area back here a bit more, and I'll do that by grabbing these vertices. We'll pull these forward, scale them together a bit more, then we'll grab our little instrument cluster housing, get its vertices, and basically just start rounding things out. Let me undo that. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Alright, And I think a minute ago, like, I don't know, a couple of days ago, I did say something about starting on this side of the dashboard, and then I just completely got carried away in everything else I was doing. I know, that's so unlike me to do that, too. I'm going to start off by creasing, I'm sorry, not creasing, but beveling this edge. We're going to need to hide this door, too, you know that? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this door. We'll just add it to our little door layer, to clean it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and end this video for now, and we'll pick back up in the next video. So thanks a lot.